I want to show you how to change the LED in the flash bands here. So you're going to need a couple things before you get started. Soldering iron. I use a 40-watt adjustable heat soldering iron. With the soldering station, it just makes it easy to keep things clean. Gonna need a little screwdriver, pair of helping hands. I got these ones at Harbor Freight. They're fairly inexpensive, $5 or $6. Some solder and your LEDs. So you can pick up LEDs on eBay. I got mine at lighthouseleds.com. But you can pick them up on eBay for fairly cheap, about 100 of them for about $10. So pretty inexpensive if you're looking at doing a lot of them. So I want to change mine to a purplish pink color, as that's what my customer has requested. So let's go ahead and get started here. We don't have to mess with this end of the flash band, so all we're concerned about is the end that houses the LED. So let's go ahead and remove these screws. Sorry about that, guys. I had a little technical difficulties getting one of those screws out. That brings me to my next point. You have to be careful. These are pretty soft screws, so they might strip if you don't have the proper screwdriver. So let's go ahead and take this apart. We just need to get this board out. Let's remove the batteries. Set those off to the side. And we're left here with a board with an LED on it. So sorry about the chair noise there. So board with an LED. And we're going to go ahead and remove that LED and put a new one in. This is why these helping hands come in really handy. You can hold things while you're working. So there's two little solder joints on the back here. You just want to hit those evenly, loosening up that solder. And you don't want to go at this too fast, because this board is fairly thin board, and you don't want to ruin that board. So okay, so with just a little bit of heat, we were able to get that old LED out. So let's just set that to the side, and we're going to put the new one in. There's a couple things about LEDs that I want to point out. There is a positive side and a negative side to an LED. So the longer leg is going to be your positive. The shorter leg is your negative. So it's important that we know that, because otherwise it won't work in this board. So on the back of the board, there's a little plus sign that is on the board, so that's going to be your positive. So we're going to flip this back over, and you're going to notice that there's two little holes here, and that's going to be where we're going to input the new LED. So the positive side on this board is where the battery holder is, so it's going to be on this side of the board. So let's go ahead and put them back in our helping hands here. And we're going to take our new LED, and good thing to do is to test your LED before you go ahead and put it in there. I ran into some where they don't work out of the bag, so just go ahead and make sure that they light up. Put them positive and negative on your batteries and see if they light up. So that's the desired color I was going for, a purpley pink, like a bright magenta. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this installed. So again, you want to just slightly heat up your solder. It's best to work from the back, just so you aren't ruining the circuitry on the board at all. Okay, this is where it gets a little tricky. You have to go back and forth from each point, solder point on this board, because they're going to start to cool down on you as you're working with one of the other ones. So you're going to need to be able to push this LED all the way through. Okay, so we got the new LED installed there. Go ahead and wiggle it, make sure it's in nice and tight. You can go ahead and test it again by placing your batteries into the actual board now and pressing the button, and you can see that we have a working LED. So let's go ahead and finish this up, and what we're going to do is we're going to bend this LED over just like that, just how it was, and then go ahead and trim these ends up. I just used some toenail clippers, and those work just fine. So okay guys, so I got my toenail clippers here to go ahead and trim these leads down. So just be careful when you're doing this, because they are going to fly all over the place if you don't hold them in place with your finger. Okay, so we got that trimmed up. Now, if your solder joints down here aren't 100% good because you didn't add more solder, sometimes there'll be enough solder from the original board that you don't have to add solder. However, I like to go ahead and just put a tad of solder on there. Anyways, it just you make sure that you're getting a good solder joint on there, and it's not going to come loose later on. So go ahead and grab yourself some solder, and I use just rosin core solder. This is the original can for this, so but it's good stuff. It doesn't take a whole lot. So just go ahead and put a little bit of solder on those back joints there. Okay, so got that soldered up. It looks good, and we want to go ahead and test that again. Just make sure everything's working properly still, and it is, so that's good. So I'm just going to go ahead and install this board into this hardware. Look like maybe. So the LED sits right in there in between the little groove of that clear band. And that's how it runs up the entire band. So go ahead and put all this back together here. And there we go. Got a fixed light band. There we go. Change color. If you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and ask. Thanks for your time.